Cambridge Friends of the Earth experience, the general public have always got climate change, but are powerless, are relatively powerless, beyond the ballot box and small personal changes and sacrifices to make the huge social, infrastructure and economic changes required to ameliorate its effects. We are and have always been looking for leadership on this. Leadership which has so often been on a scale ranging from non-existent to severely compromised by, shall we say, outside interests. You're all hoping to represent us. Candidates, what are your plans for firstly Cambridge and then the country as a whole's contribution to halting climate change? We're all looking to you. What are your plans? Having said that, I'd just like to make a couple of points. I'd like to remind everyone that this is actually a climate change hustings. There are many other issues which we'd all like to put to the candidates, myself included. However, other hustings are available and you will have your chance to put those to them at a later date. This is for questions about climate change only, please. Thank you. Also, it's been a bit of an eye-opener to us organising this hustings in terms of the organisation required and indeed the cost. So as a result, we have a sum-up donation table outside, both for this hustings and for another one that Friends of the Cam are organising in a similar vein, though that will be mostly focused on the River Cam and water resources. Okay, thank you.
So I'm Mia Gray. I'm a professor of geography at the university, and I'm here to chair tonight. I'm not a climate scientist, I'm a social scientist, but we make the best chairs. So what I'd like to do is kind of set the rules for tonight. We don't have that much time. We have an hour and a half, and we'd like to get in as many questions as possible. So what we'll do is ask you all to be very succinct in your questions. I have some questions that we ask people who had questions to kind of put questions in ahead of time, and I have some of those, but we also want to make space for everyone here to ask questions as well. But that means both our candidates and our audience members need to be succinct. So I'd also like to ask everyone to be active listeners, not to interrupt, to listen respectfully, and you know, I was talking to a colleague tonight at my department from Switzerland, and he was so amazed that the UK has such a form of direct democratic participatory kind of events. He didn't even realize we had it. And I thought to myself, yes, aren't we lucky? Like, it is fabulous. So, but to make it all work, we'll all have to be quite succinct. So, without further ado, I'd like to ask our panel members, all our candidates, to introduce themselves quite quickly, within a minute each. Khaled, would you like to start us off?
So my name is Dr. Khaled Abutayan. I'm oncologist by training. I worked for around, I'm still working actually. I finished my chemotherapy clinic this afternoon and came down here. I received the Greatest Award because I'm trying to improve the NHS. As well, I'm a political advisor for many years for media companies and politicians. I'm trying here to improve our NHS. I'm trying to improve our city and our education. My mom is a teacher, my dad is a teacher, and for many years we thought education is basic to change for better cities and for peace, of course. So I'm here as well to talk about climate changes. We are really facing disaster. We are facing pollution. We are facing a serious problem. If we don't act now, then when? I think everyone here suffered from the pollution. The climate change is getting worse and worse, and the sea level as well is getting higher and higher. If we don't act now, then when? I got some pictures here. I'm going to show you later. You will be shocked. So we have to act, and I cannot act without your help. So we have all to act and to vote for the right person who think he's going to help the city, because we are talking about Cambridge. If we don't do anything now, more trouble we are going to face. There's a newspaper talking about high levels of E. coli here in the country, in Carpen River. It's disaster. We are talking about polluted water, we're talking about parasites. Nowadays, I ask my patients to drink 1.5 liters of fluid a day, but now I ask them to boil it before drink it. Why? So we have to provide them with clean water. Thank you very much, Mia. Thank you very much, everyone, and all the best for the city and for the citizens.
Thank you, Professor Gray. And can I just start by first thanking Friends of the Earth Cambridge for organising tonight's hustings on what's an incredibly important topic, and also all the volunteers that are making this happen. That you won't see them necessarily, but it takes a lot of people to make tonight work. My name is Shane Manning, and I'm the Conservative Party parliamentary candidate for Cambridge. And the reason why I'm standing to hopefully be your next MP is because I want to provide a genuine alternative to the people of Cambridge, to what they've had over recent years. Now I know what you're thinking, you'll say, Shane, your party's been in government for a long time, how can you be the alternative? However, I think we all know in Cambridge, the Labour Party and the Liberal Democrats have had a vice-like grip over Cambridge for a while and have dominated the City Council for over 30 years now. And when I've spoken to hundreds of people all over the city, many of them tell me that they don't think those two parties are listening anymore. They don't think their views, their priorities are considered in decision making, and frankly they think their votes are being taken for granted. I want to give a voice to those people. I want those people to have a genuine and viable alternative. And if I'm lucky enough to be elected as your MP, I will propose practical, sensible and pragmatic solutions to some of the problems that our city faces, whether that's congestion on our roads, whether it's transport infrastructure, topics I'm sure we'll cover this evening, rather than what it seems to be ideologically driven pet projects which ultimately only harm hard-working families. And the reason I've got involved in politics in the first place is to give a voice to hard-working families and do everything I can to support them. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. It's wonderful to see so many people, and it's really lovely to be here. And my name is Jane Payne. I'm the Liberal Democrat parliamentary candidate here in Cambridge. I was elected first in 2018 as a city councillor for Castle Ward, so just up and along Huntingdon Road. But I think for me, one of my key drivers for moving into politics is because I have been for the last 15 years and still am a secondary school teacher. And for me, over that last 15 years, the education, the knowledge and the skills we need to share with our young people to equip them for the wider world and for a future in 10 years' time where the grips of climate change will be undeniable are so vastly different to that which many of us here would have known when we were at school. One of the nicest jobs I do at that very school is I run a student eco-committee, and we had a little activity last week where we sat and we worked out the food miles of their packed lunches when we were talking about carbon footprint. And as the conversation drifted, I overheard a little 12-year-old called Edward sigh and then say, outraged, "Oh God, I'm going to ask my mum to stop buying Nutella because we've got all these food miles." And I just wonder, for children like little Edward, how many more of those conversations is he going to need to have? How many more times is he going to have to make changes to how he moves, how he heats his home, where he gets his food from? Our young people, and we here, should not need to be the leaders in tackling climate change. We've been failed repeatedly by an out-of-touch, out-of-ideas government. For the Labour Party, they will talk to you tonight about how this election is about getting the Conservatives out and getting Keir Starmer in. For the Liberal Democrats, it's about so much more than that. We want to transform the very nature of British politics so we can fix the health and care crisis, put our economy back on track, and end the appalling sewage scandal we're facing in our rivers. That's why I'm standing to be your next Liberal Democrat MP for Cambridge, because I think we need a fresh voice in fighting for the fair deal we deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Mia. First of all, I'm Daniel Zash. I've been your MP for the last 9 years. Can I echo the thanks that people who set this event up today? It is really complicated and difficult, especially in the modern world, sadly. Look, the reason I want to be re-elected, and I ask for your support again, is because over the last 9 years I've seen up front in Parliament just what it's like being in opposition and watching a Conservative government basically preside over chaos over year after year after year, and that's had a really bad effect on people, not just in Cambridge but right across the country.
And in terms of the climate and nature crises, frankly, it has been very, very poor. I've been a Shadow Environment Minister for the last 4 years, so I've been involved closely in some of the legislation. There were very expert people in this room tonight, so we'll come on to some of the details of that. But I suppose it has really brought home to me that just winning a seat here isn't enough. I desperately want to change government, because the world cannot wait much longer for action. And this current government is completely out of space, out of ideas. And I tell you, we've got some cracking ideas to really, really meet this challenge. And we look forward to exploring them with you over the next hour and a half. So that's me, and thank you very much, not just for tonight, but for support people who've shown me over the last decade. I've hugely appreciated the advice that many people in this room have given.
Thank you everybody for coming here tonight to actively participate in local democracy, and thank you very much to the organisers of this event. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet because I was told I only had a minute. Okay, I'll stand up. So I'm Sarah Dick-Manus, and I've been an active and proud member of the Cambridge Green Party, Cambridge and South Cambridge Green Party for almost 10 years. Cambridge is past the point of sustainable growth. Developers can no longer demonstrate water neutrality for their growth projects, or for Cambridge's growth projects. And the Environment Agency is now frequently having to step in. Due to a rapidly changing climate, Cambridge is likely to be flanked by water as early as the next decade. If we are to live in a livable future, we need to act with extreme urgency. Green MPs will push the next government to stop all fossil fuel extraction projects, cancel any recently issued fossil fuel licenses, and press for significant investment in the green economic transformation. The cost of inaction will far outweigh the cost of climate action. This is an emergency. We do not have long to act. The only party offering hope and courage, and only the Green Party are offering real hope and real change. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Carmona. I'm the independent candidate here, the junior member of this panel. I believe that there are big issues facing us, and one of the big issues is the environment. My particular take on this is we can fix a lot of the issues we're facing if we fix our society, our way of looking at living, our way of looking at each other, prioritizing people over things, volunteering more to help our neighbors, realizing that the people around us are the best guarantee of our security and well-being. With that first building block, all other issues can fall into place. That is my belief, and my platform is based upon that. Thank you for coming.